My first 2 years, I struggled in the NBA. Tough. I thought I could play against Michael Jordan. I went in there talking trash. I thought I was bigger than what I was, just because I was the #2 pick in the draft. So what? A lot of these kids, they get a lot of talk that they're this, that, and that. They're great. So when I come and talk to them, I tell them the real. I tell them it's gonna take more than that. Whatever you was at your college, that's over. Because now you done got to a league that everybody was good. So I want them to understand that it takes hard work to become where you're at. Usually when I go to these seminars, some guy is over here, he looking over here, I don't know why I'm talking to this, but I got everybody's attention. You guys right here today are giving me a clue that y'all gonna be something. Because you're starting the right way.
This is our first practice. It's the starting line. Guys are jockeying for position. Guys are trying to formulate our depth chart.
Man! Nice, Jordan. Perfect. Good work.
We like what we see. We like it a lot. We talk about finishing. That's a big word here in football with the Raiders.
Go!
Finish the game. Finish the drive. Finish the play.
All right? Keep working. Keep studying. Keep lifting. Keep training. Here we go now. Here we go. Come on, hit your landmark. Let's get it moving.
It's competitive. It'll bring out the best in all of them, but that's how we'd start if we played a game tonight.
Really nice. Hit that hard. Keep working together. Together on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Like that, but what are your early impressions of your first round pick, Colton Miller, just from what you have been able to see?
Extremely athletic. Both of those tackles that we drafted, extremely athletic. They bend very, very well for men their size. They move extremely well for men their size. So more than anything, it's been their athleticism.
With Doug and Marshawn, what type of things are you trying to see with their strengths to kind of play into what you want to do offensively?
Well, it's real difficult right now without, because of the collective bargaining agreement and the lack of contact that you see. It's difficult to evaluate that position because of the no contact. But they both are two different styles of runners. Certainly you have the power still with Marshawn that we're excited to see. But Doug has really jumped out in this camp, his quickness, his ability to pick up the offense and what we've given him. I think that's been very encouraging. But he really got a fresh set of legs, and that's probably been the most encouraged when you watch him run out here in the drills that we've run and the strength and conditioning staff and the things that they're doing there. He just looks like he's got a real fresh set of legs.
He didn't have a lot of production the last 2 years. So what did you guys see in him to say that he still had that?
I would say John probably, because of living in Tampa, had a chance to see a lot more of him than anybody else did. And I think that probably aided in the decision more than anything was his confidence in what he'd seen in Doug and his conversations that he had in Doug over the years while in Tampa. So he was probably the driving force behind signing Doug, and we're real excited about it.
There is a pretty good depth chart now in that backfield for John Gruden.
Having a lot of guys that have the experience and know what it feels like to have some success. It's exciting. Just we got a nice little stable back there.
Sun came out today, man. Woo! Yeah! Oakland, California.
Certainly have the power still with Marshawn that we're excited to see. Doug has really jumped out in this camp, his quickness, his ability to pick up the offense and what we've given him. He really got a fresh set of legs, and that's probably been the most encouraging when you watch him run out here in the drills that we've run.
Great job. Good job, Doug. Good job.
I think that's going to be big for us, just establishing the run and making some noise with them pads.
Excited about that position group because of the different skill set that each of them have. I think Derek Carey is the kind of flex guy. He can kind of do a little bit of both, whereas you have the real old school power tight end in Lee, and then the athletic F tight end in Jared.
We just have a lot of new moving pieces to our offense. A lot of times the tight end has to be moved around a lot, play a lot of different positions. I think it's a demand on everybody as a whole on the offense, but that's what we're pros for, you know, that's what we're here for.
1, 2, 3, Raiders!
Jordy's very detailed. He wants to do everything exactly how you want it done. See why Aaron loved throwing him the ball. He's very smart. He can read coverage like a quarterback. When you add a guy like that, you know, it just trickles down throughout the whole room.
Football's going to teach you guys some of the best lessons you're ever going to get.
He wanted to do something that we could give back to the youth of the community, and then certainly we give our players an opportunity to coach and see what it's like to be on that side.
If you get settled in between the Y and the Z, you got a corner route, okay? It's no different than when we put Amari and Jordy together. We put Dwayne and Amari together. We pair people together for a reason.
I'm going to give y'all everything I got. All of the juice. You need to see that in return.
Throw it.
Touchdown! Let's go.
You saw the excitement. I mean, when they get to compete against each other, but yet they're giving back to football by giving back to the young men here in the camp, and so we feel like it was certainly an early success, and we'll see what the future brings.
We here! Yeah, we competing, man. We coaching our butts off, and we getting the job done.
It was so fun to hang out with these kids.
Raiders on me, Raiders on 3. 1, 2, 3, Raiders!
Welcome, man. I know you're going to light it up. I know. Big fans, man.
It's electric out here. The energy is up. You can see everybody is having a good time. They focus. It's going to be a great year. Raiders, doing it.
Come up to training camp, show me some of your rough drafts.
Y'all done got him fired up.
Yeah, got him fired up. Watch this. Too legit to quit. Level up, we gonna win.
You brought us a lot of happiness, man.
And mutual. And you're gonna take us back to where we were.
Raiders on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Raiders!
What progress have you seen Conley make these past couple of weeks and months?
He's doing good. Well, most importantly, he's out there, you know, and he's doing good. He's really understanding the little details of everything, the press techniques that we're teaching, some of the different coverages that we have a lot of different coverages in now. So he's done a really good job for us.
Obi coming along, we saw him out there a little bit.
Obi?
Yeah.
Yeah, again, same thing. It's good to have him out there. I mean, there's guys fighting for jobs, and, you know, you can't, at this point in time when everything's new, you know, I'm new here, so I like I told him, I don't care what happened here in the past. It's hey, I'm going to keep the best 22, 23 guys that are here that I think can help us win. But, you know, again, he's out there. He's starting to work, which is good to see because he needs to. He needs to be out there playing, not in a training room. So it's good to see that he's back out there.
What have you seen so far from Gary on us, a little bit more on him, and what do you hope to see over the course of this offseason?
Just, we're pretty much done the installation of the defense for the most part. So just to clean up the little details and the footwork and all those type of things. And, what I typically do is I'll take all the film from what we had in the spring, and usually I'll write them little notes in between practices or whatever. But usually I'll give them a little write-up when they come back here for training camp. These are the things that moving forward I think you need to work on. So he, like I said, he's doing a really good job. I don't have any problems with what he's doing right now.
Coach, a lot of batted passes out there, a couple interceptions today. You've touched on Gary, on Gilchrist. What's been your impression of the DBs as a whole and just with the impact they're making on the defensive side?
I just think, we're getting, if you were at practice yesterday, we dropped about 5 picks yesterday. So, we made a big emphasis to turning the ball over. Obviously, it's a big part of what we talk about in our meeting rooms, turning the ball over, getting back to our offense. And, we've had some opportunities, and you see the guys are getting excited about it. So that's good to see that, they're all running down there, chasing the guy after he intercepts the ball. So it's been good. We've got our hands on a lot of balls. We just got to catch more of them.
Footwork, early in the down, early in the down. Stop the way.
Back to football, back to X's and O's. Can't complain about the opportunity that we have out here to get better. Running around, competing, man, gotta love it.
Hey, DB's on two, 1-2.
What did you know about and how much contact had you ever had with Bruce Irvin before you got here, and what have you learned about him since you've been here?
Well, I went and worked him out at West Virginia, and I had a good visit with him. So it was an impressive workout. And I was trying to, in Cincinnati, really try to push to draft him, but he went 15th before us to Seattle. And, just coming out of college, I know he was a really gifted rusher. Good guy, ran fast and 40, really good athlete. So I think that, just coming here, I thought his best asset for us was to go forward rather than go backwards. So he's done a good job with what we're asking him to do in the base fronts. Obviously, we know he can do as a pass rusher. And hopefully, we can get him over a double-digit mark this year. That's a goal for him.
A lot was made of improving the interior pass rush for
Yep.
you guys. What are the impressions of the two rookies that you've got, that you added?
I think these guys are going to, when you've been in it long enough, you kind of know, even in shorts, what it's supposed to look like. And I think both those young guys are really coming along. Obviously, Maurice is probably a little bit ahead of PJ because PJ came from a smaller program. But this past week, I've seen PJ make great strides in the things he's doing. Maurice is going to be he's played in there. PJ played some end and some nose, so there's some versatility in there. But those guys have done a really good job of picking up. Arden the same way. So we got 3 guys out of this draft that I think are going to really help. Just really starting to understand, hey, this is what we're trying to get to. I really don't care where you played at. Played D3, Division I, doesn't matter. It's what you do when you're here and what you earn when you're here. The guys have really been, the whole group's been a sponge with everything we're doing.
Paul Gunter's very smart in seeing what we have and calling plays off of that until we all get it. But he just wants us to play fast, and that's the key.
Great group of guys out there, and everybody buying in and getting the job done.
You never want to make them feel too comfortable, but you want to say, hey, this is where we messed up, and this is what we did really good. I want them to feel comfortable in the system, but at the same time, there's more to get
to. We are here today to surprise them as the alumni, to welcome them to the sisterhood, because we have an unbelievable sisterhood. So we came to surprise them, and it's going over really well.
We had the very first Raiderette team come in, and they introduced themselves. They said hi to all of us, and then they gave us, words of wisdom and shared their experiences with the team. And they were back on the team in 1961, so it's pretty incredible to see how close that they've become over all these years.
I'm Judy Russell, and I was a majorette. I was one of the first majorettes in 1961, and that's when I met all of these wonderful women, and now we're best friends most of the time.
But you guys look way better. Your costumes are pretty good.
Yeah. When you think of I know they've been around for a while.
never knew that alumni would come and do this, and seeing them today and having a little routine for us and performing their pom-poms, just straight tears, and it means so much to me that my sisters now get to be a part of this in the future.
Because before game, everyone's getting ready, so it was always nice to have something to put on. So we gave them robes that have Raiderettes on the back, and that was just basically to wrap them with love and our support and welcome them.
I think the way this is going to play out, and I know it's hard, they are leaving. We know that. In 2020, they're going to be the Las Vegas Raiders, and that's going to be really difficult for those of us that have built our lives and lived our lives here in the East Bay. I've been here for more than 30 years, so I know your pain.
I just want you to know that you guys are under great leadership, man, and this team is going to get so much better really, really soon. Though this is my last game in the Coliseum, just know that I'll never leave you. Go Raiders.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. If you guys don't know how big a win that was, you'll know tomorrow. It's a hell of a win. It's a team effort. Offense, defense, special teams. Now, the effort was outstanding. Outstanding.